Hey guys, welcome to my dining room. It will be in here that I will give you a hint as to what all those mystery items are for. My table is a 1940s table that my mom got the whole set, the table, the buffet, and the china cabinet at a garage sale. So I'm very fortunate. The table does have deep scratches and some staining and stuff, so I always keep a tablecloth on it or a table runner to distract from these imperfections. And it's an easy way to be able to enjoy something without sending something so beautiful, to the trash. Which I would never, ever, ever do because I love vintage. So anyway, let's get started. I can't wait. I've been planning this video and working on it so long, so I'm excited. Let's get started. So what I do when I recommend looks for you guys or products to go purchase, I try to have those products carry over through multiple events. So like if you're decorating for Christmas, you can also use this for winter or summer or fall or spring with just very minor little inexpensive tweaks, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so we all know modern farmhouse has been a very hot and popular style the last 2 years, and something new is coming Christmas 2020 and the year 2021 as far as the farmhouse interior design goes. It's moving from farmhouse modern to farmhouse industrial. So first we have our buffalo plaid, which is also really a neutral, even though it's a very strong pattern because it's black and white. It represents farmhouse modern. I mean, you know it like that. We're going to change this buffalo plaid into meaning farmhouse and industrial. Stay tuned. So what is this crazy industrial you're talking about mixing with my farmhouse? It's more metals. You have galvanized steel, you have silver, copper, gold, all the metals. It's perfect. So what I've done here is this is a galvanized metal planter tray from Amazon. And what I've done is I've taken out the planters, I filled it with some greenery, some red berries that represent Christmas, some green plums, and a red candle. Very elegant, very simple to do. And the great thing about this greenery I got, this pine, is it comes in a roll like this. You can cut this to fill any size tray or container or bowl or whatever you have. And I got two, and I'll link it down below. So I've taken this roll, cut it to fit in my galvanized metal tray. And like I said, for Christmas, I've layered in a red candle from Target, some red berries, and some green pears. Now on the sides, because my table is so long, I'm going to take two of the planters that came with my galvanized tray and put them on either end to balance it out. And I'm using natural pine cones because natural elements are really big in modern farmhouses, we all know. But I'm mixing them with the new farmhouse industrial by putting them in my galvanized buckets. Inside the bucket, I have just natural pine cones that I went and picked outside under a pine tree, and I have a lace crocheted doily. So I brought in some vintage there, and you just put them out like that, and you have a very, very nice, simple, affordable tablescape for Christmas. Now, if you wanted to make it more Christmassy, you could change out your plain pine cones, leave your lace doily, change out your plain pine cones with some pine cones spray painted red, and then you're bringing that Christmas color all the way down the table, and you get a different look than you got with the plain pine cones. And again, this is totally up to you how much you want, the Christmas color to be or not be. So there's a very Christmas one also. Or maybe you want more height in the center, so you take out this candle, which is an actual wick candle from Target. And I'm going to substitute in one of my battery-operated candles that I used in my Halloween display. Remember, don't ever buy something that you can't use you can only use in one space. It's more important to be able to change things out. And you can add more berries if you want. That is totally up to you. If you want a real heavy, Christmas look, then I got these little twigs and berries right here. You just take some scissors, get your sprig wherever you want it, and just, okay. So you just cut a sprig off and just place it in your, and that one I cut with some leaves just to add another texture of green. And you can fill this whole thing with red berries if you want. Personal taste. I like the more minimal look. It's up to you. Remember, your table, if it's not pushed up against a wall, is 360. So you need to make sure your look is balanced on the center and the back, left and right. So there we go. Now, say Christmas is over, but you still want to use this same look, but maybe without these. Maybe you just want a centerpiece and that's it. Okay, so to make this less holiday and more just winter, just take off all the red berries and all of in the individual buckets and just leave that like that. And there, you have a 2021 January farmhouse industrial table setting. Very easy, and this will carry you all the way through winter. Then when spring gets here, all you have to do is take out your pineapples and your greenery that is pine needles. Take all of that out, put in some leaves, green leaves and lemons, and you have a spring summer look. You could change the lemons out for oranges, grapes, whatever. So multiple use, very, very important. So what if you're looking at this and you're going, okay, I like that, but you know what? Modern farmhouse is not my look. I want a different look, okay? I'm going to show you a different look. But that means that the buffalo plaid is going to go away because nothing screams modern farmhouse like buffalo plaid. Let's say you like just super simple and elegant. Well, guess what? Navy is a big 2020 Christmas color this year. Huge. So I have this navy blue table runner that I'm going to put in the center. Then if you wanted to go with the metal because you like the look at that. It transfers out so simple. And there you go. There's a very simple look. But maybe you don't want metals at all. Okay, I get that. So let's take away the metal. And what we're going to add is we're going to use the navy and we're going to build up a winter look that can be used for Christmas as well, because you can do navy and white on a Christmas tree. So we're going to put this white tray in the center, and it really pops with that navy runner we have. And then I'm going to add a little greenery because you just need a little greenery. And I'm using some more of my stuff I bought, but I'm not going to fill the whole tray because I want the white to be part of the tray. So all I'm going to do is go around the edges here. Now this is wired too, so you can get it to work. You just might have to play with it a little bit. Again, don't be afraid to cut things down at all. So I'm going to cut right here. Cut very easy. It does kind of make a mess, so you just need bits out. Okay, so you just want a little bit in the center. But say you want a very monochromatic look, then I'm going to use my candles again. You could also use a navy candle in the center if you wish. You could put 3 candles or 1. We're going to go very simple with 1. And then instead of and we're going to add our blue flowers that we added some fabric paint to, just around on the sides, because they really pop with that, like that. And then these are little white pine cone ornaments from Target. I'm going to cut off the little hanger part for the tree because I am not going to use them that way. But they could be used on your tree as well as in this tablescape, and then you would be tying it all together with the familiar shape, which even though these aren't real and they're not natural colored, they are the organic shape of pine cones. And the brain automatically goes to that shape and knows what these are. And they just came in a little container like this, and I will link it below. Enough, you could put a few on your tree and a few on here to tie it up. And what I'm going to do is put 3 each in a little pattern, because remember what I said about 360? If you notice, I have flowers facing both directions, and the same with my pine cones. And when I center them in like this, it hides the little backing which held the, by doing the pine cones in the set of 3 with the, making the display 360, you can see that little bump that holds the hanger on it. It will be camouflaged because of the way I'm inserting these together. Could also, if you wanted to make it a little more Christmassy, use blue bulbs, Christmas balls in here. Could also put some fairy lights in here if you had a way to maybe run the cord between your table without messing up your table. And this is another look for Christmas, obviously. It's also a great look for winter. This would carry you through and you wouldn't have to do anything at all. Now this is only a 2-season decoration, Christmas and winter, but you do get 2 seasons out of it, which is really good. And of course the trays you can always use for multiple things. You could also trade out the white candle for a navy candle if you wanted. Make it your own. These are just supposed to be jumping off ideas. Now maybe you want something a little more Christmassy. We can take the tray off. We don't need it at all. And we can use our greeneries, and we can use our Christmas trees that we made the other day. Now, of course, anytime you make Christmas decoration, you are making a 1-season item. And that's okay if you're making it. If you're okay with it, that's fine. Just make sure your trees and everything are 360. These give lovely texture to this. Keep the pine cones. If you wanted to add a hint of green, okay, so there's one look. Then you could come back in and add a hint of green to this as well, just to add another type of texture to it, like that. And there you go. There's another look. Now the trees on the, let me turn this tree a little, there you go. The trees on the buffalo plaid don't work so well because the buffalo plaid is such a pattern that I would say go with the metals or a black tray. The white tray kind of got lost too, just for your FYI. Now what if you like this but you're like, I like classic industrial, which is a classic look like this, the white, but you want to add a little of the metals to this, which would be a neat look. Then you bring in your little metal planters. You put some of your white pine cones in them, or some blue ornament balls. And there you go. There's a whole nother look. Make it your own. These are just ideas to kind of help the brain going. You could also come back, leave the planters with the pine cones like that, and throw in one of our blue poinsettia flowers to bring the blue up to higher in this. And there we go. So there's another look. Okay. Again, this look very much is only Christmas, but you just take away the trees and the poinsettias and you put the tray back with the greenery and the candle, and it's still winter. So let me show you that with the poinsettias and the metal there. Just different ways to bring it all together. Or maybe you don't want the white tray at all, and you like the metal tray, you can also get red apples for your metal tray for Christmas instead of the pears. I like the pears because it's a little unexpected. And there's a different look. Instead of using blue, bringing the blue, the navy into, we're complementing with the green. So there is another look, which is fun and exciting. Now you could also make this even more winter if you like. Taking off our table runner for just a second and throwing on a plain white tablecloth. And this will accentuate I think the elegance, because nothing says, elegant and holiday party or wedding more than a crisp white tablecloth. Okay, so there's our white tablecloth. Then we're going to come back with our navy runner and then come back with our metal and do our farmhouse industrial. Okay, something that simple. Or like we said, maybe farmhouse industrial is not your vibe. And this can be our Christmas look with our little buckets on each end. Or without, and there is no industrial at all. So lots of choices for you with the blue and white and the buffalo plaid. Now, let's go a different route. And let's say you're more traditional. So the traditional route, and you want to mix in just a little something extra, but not a lot. This is my tapestry runner. It's very holiday, very old world, because I love vintage. So I'm going to put it. It only faces one way though, so keep in mind if you get a table runner that faces one direction, if it works in your area. In my case, it does. Okay, so I just want to leave it like this. I have Santa in the middle here, so maybe I don't want anything else. This is very busy. But maybe I want a little something else, but I don't want industrial. So what would you do? I found this vintage lantern that I love. And I'm going to put one there, and I have another one. Let me go get it. Okay, so these lanterns I picked up at an antique store different times, but they basically match. So you could put that together, then have in the center you could do a large clear bowl so the pattern still shines through, and put a string of battery operated lights in there, and you would have an amazing, amazing display. So that's another option. You can get glass bowls at the Dollar Tree or wherever, depending on what you want to spend. Now, if you don't like vintage, but you do like traditional, you can always do just plain. You could do 2 baskets with red ornaments in there, red and white ornaments. All I'm doing is adding some greenery to a natural basket. Okay, and it's wired, so you just have to smash it in. And then fill it with your red pine cones. With your red pine cones, and throw in some twigs of your red holly. And you just have a very simple, you could fill it with red apples as well. Or green pears. So red apples, or a mixture of red apples and green pears, or just green pears. It's a great option. In our clear bowl, you could mix in red and natural pine cones. You could throw in some other, like if you have acorns, anything natural is really popular, and fill your bowl up to the top with those. That gives you an idea. Okay. Now I'm going to take the traditional off. So maybe you don't have any table runners and you don't really want to go purchase any. I get that. So, but say you have a green tablecloth. Well, let's just use that. And you could use red candles to make it more Christmassy. I don't have any red candles because that would be a one-use purchase. And these battery-operated candles are very expensive. So you could do that. You could bring back in your whites to accent with a light. If you like the industrial. If you do want to go more Christmas, it's easy to add just a few things. You just plop in one red pine cone with your white ones on the sides. Then in the middle, I'm going to change out my big battery-operated candle for my little red candle that I got from Target. And I'm going to try to lift it up a bit because it is smaller. And there you go. There's another look. So, you could even add more red to the center part by adding. This is also a look. Now this green can take you till spring, and then you could change it out with a lighter green as a table runner, but not necessarily with this combination. If you wanted to take it to spring, you would just take all the red away, add your white. You could leave your frosted pine cones through winter, but then in the summer change them out with natural. Because even though you might be like, wait, natural pine cones are fall, but they're organic, so in the summer they just look like dark green or light green work for spring and summer. And you can change the greenery out to leaves if you wanted to. And there you have another look. Isn't this fun? It's like changing clothes for fashion videos. You could also take the metal away and just line with white petals. If you had some white rose petals, you could line with white rose petals. That would be pretty. You could line with red rose petals. That would be pretty. If you like to use more organic, natural decorating ideas like real pine cones, use the rose petals, use the flower petals. All right, another good look for this. That is kind of our farmhouse modern. Without the industrial, is bring back our textured trees that we did. And this gives us a nice look too. And that gives us a nice look as well. So if you wanted to bring in more of a family touch to it, you could put family photos. Okay, you could use a different look with family photos. And I think the photos with the wood frames or faux wood frames look really good on. Family photos are a great way to decorate. Just varying the size and the height gives you a different look as well. And this tablecloth will go through winter with the whites easily. And you could even take it into spring by adding some lemons to it. Let me show you how to bring this green into the spring. If you have vintage items that you collect, use them to decorate, okay? So you could use like this is a planter and some salt and pepper shakers very easily. Or you could use, okay, you could use your white tray and put those on there. Great. The white tray we've had, a vase to bring some drama and height with our yellow lemons, salt and pepper shakers. That's another look. And this one can go spring, summer. You can put beautiful fresh flowers in here or fake. Something else you can use if you have any of your grandmother's old cake plates, or you can pick these up in antique stores. Use those. This is bringing a metal in. We're back to our farmhouse industrial. Then you could add these on each side or nothing at all and just a cake plate. Totally up to you. You could use the cake plate, the cake plate for your winter, your Christmas. You could add your organically laned red pine cones down. Throw a couple of your red berries on your cake plate. Okay, and there you go. You have a Christmas look. Right? Really, most of these will go from, you will get multiple uses out of, except for the ones that are very, very specific to the holiday. Like the one with Santa and Christmas trees. That's a little hard, to send to another time of year. Okay, so you put your tablecloth on like this, and then we just make our table runner, again, the star of the show, on our green tablecloth. And you can pick up tablecloths and other stuff on sale at thrift shops, on eBay. So you just have to watch. And watch for stains, especially on eBay. That's why I like to shop for, if I'm going to use vintage tablecloths, I like to shop in person. Do this, then use our vintage lanterns over to one side. There you go. And you could put your cake plate on the other side, or you could just, and there you go. So, that's another look. The last look is more neutral. Again, it can go actually any season because the material I'm going to use is going to be burlap. And you can pair it under something, with nothing at all. There's multiple looks for it. But I'm going to start with the most plain look, I guess you could say. And that is just the plain burlap table runner. And all I did was I had a roll of burlap that was this wide, and I just rolled it out to the length of a table runner and cut it. And that was all I did. So you don't get any more simpler than this. Now this is a texture. This adds great texture to your table. How could you decorate it? Well, let's say you wanted to do farmhouse industrial, so that means we're going to use a metal. Okay? Boom, right there. Say you wanted to add something to the sides, you could add a candle on each side. You could get little red candles and add one on each side, or you could add your little baskets with, you could paint some red poinsettias like we painted the blue. You could paint some red. Those would be pretty. Like that. There you have a different look. So, you can also go with your pears in the center if you want it to be more generic. Take off the red pine cones, put in your pears, and you could maybe even put the pine cones out like that. Now that's a holiday. If you didn't want holiday and you just wanted like a farmhouse look, just definitely take away all the red. Just leave your little buckets as plain. And you can have it like this. Or take away the buckets and you can have it just like that. And that can go all year. If you pick up a vintage planter somewhere, that can definitely trade out your center. You could drop a battery-powered tea light down in the little planting area, and that would make a great look all over. Okay, now this is my tattooed poinsettia that I did earlier. With that, with a couple of pears. And there is a spring look. Very simple. Now, if you want to take this to winter, that's easy too. And with a little bucket in the center. You could fill the whole tray with natural pine cones. You could fill the whole tray with natural pine cones. Okay, so that gives you an another idea. You can also layer your table runners if you want. So say you have a burlap one and you want to layer it with your navy one. This is a very farmhouse, what I call chic look. You could even use blue jean on your table. Get some blue jeans cheap at a thrift store, cut out swatches of fabric. In fact, I may have to do another one of these tablescape videos if you guys like these. Okay, so it's layered there. And here you can come back with your white tray if you want and set it. And use your metal on each side. I think the metal really looks good with the burlap. Use this tray with pine cones. Like that. Then you could leave these plain. You could fill them up with regular pine cones. You could put your white pine cones. You could put your white pine cones in this display right here. Mix in a few white with, and then mix in some of your real. And that gives you an idea for another look. You could throw your candle on here with some pears and the white pine cones. And throw a pear in your bucket with another white pine cone look. Take your pine. So there's another look. So there is just 1,000,001 looks if you just play around with it. And your table is, again, like your fashion. Make it your own. Make it that it reflects you and your family. I hope you like this. I hope it gives you some ideas. Again, with the burlap, you can mix the green. You can mix red if you want to go for a real bright Christmas. You could use other things around your house. If you have Christmas bowls, use one of your Christmas bowls you like. If you have Christmas trays, use a Christmas tray. If you collect certain things, use those collections. This was just meant to get the ideas in your head jumping so you could think of some cool ideas and something different. Because I really think 2020, we need to give it all we've got for Christmas and the holidays and, knock it out with some different ideas. When you get your tables all decorated, be sure and send me pictures in the comments below. I'd love to see them. Give me your little tips and tricks as well. And tell me why you chose what you chose. Maybe we'll pick the best one to win a prize. We'll see. Also, be sure and remember that you don't have to have a big dining room table like this. I have a small breakfast table that we sit out 100% of the time. We hardly ever use this table. So the table we eat at, all of this would work on a smaller scale. Instead of the tray and things on the end, it would be just the tray, or it would be just the photos. So you might not have the end game effects going on my smaller table, but you could still have the center effect going on very, very well. And just remember, 2020 Christmas kicks off Farmhouse Industrial. So if you have Farmhouse Modern, don't fret. All you have to do is add in a little galvanized steel, some silver, some gold, some copper, some aluminum. Add in a metal, and you've got Farmhouse Industrial. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. I had such a blast putting this together, and it took some time, but I just really hope you love it as much as I do. Be sure and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because I have some more great ideas coming, not only for the holidays, but for the new year. And I also have a laundry video coming if you need some inspiration or you're just not sure about something. I have a laundry video coming up. I also have a closet reorganization coming up, and that one is probably going to be huge. So stay tuned, guys, and thanks for being here.